You can play by the rules, or you can go down the rabbit hole with us. Oh, yes!
You are all blind. Puppets. The department of the sudden departure is an elaborate smokescreen.
I lost everything.
If you were in pain, you would know there is no moving on.
Someone is impersonating me.
Who would want to pretend to be you?
Just do it! I can't! Just wait! Do it now!
Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews, back finally to talk more about The Leftovers Season 1. This video has been more than a week in the making. I've watched the episode twice now in the last week. I've had my notes ready forever, but because of my recording equipment and my audio and everything else has been going on, this episode review just kind of got pushed back for a while. And it's important for me to get this one done because I love this episode so much. This one really ends up hitting me right in the personal feels, and it proves why, in my opinion, Carrie Coon is the best working actress right now, in my opinion. Ever since she came onto the scene, what I believe was like Gone Girl, she has, to me, stolen pretty much any scene she's in with somebody. Not counting Infinity War, because Proxima Midnight, just, it's barely a character. But otherwise, Carrie Coon to me is just top tier level acting. She does not even seem like she's acting. She wears the performance on her face. You believe everything she says and does. It is amazing what she does. And as Nora Durst, especially for season 1, in this episode, we get to see so much of this character. And while it is a horrendously sad episode, just like every episode of The Leftovers, this is one of the most powerful and one of the most... this episode speaks to me in a lot of ways, especially at the end. And so, full spoilers if you have not seen this episode. It is called Guest. This is why, The Leftovers should be considered one of the best shows ever made. Is episodes like this, where we start with Nora just going through the motions as usual, asking people awkward questions for the departure services so that they can get their claims. Asking this guy if his lover killed him, or had ever tried to commit suicide. Asking these things, like questions that you don't know the answer to, but you know the answer to. Hard stuff like that. And we're kind of just going on following Nora's routine. First, a little light stalking where we go to the preschool teacher who slept with her husband's school and stares at her for a while. And, you can see that this is not the first time that this has happened, but it's still affecting the teacher that has to see her all the time, which, kind of is like, fuck you. You slept with your kids that you teach, one of this student's parents. Oh my God. But then we get the routine at the grocery store where she buys all this stuff and goes home and throws it all away, everything that was in there, and she has groceries to replace it. It's a very, very sad routine. I'm sure partially it's based on what if they come back. You wouldn't want anything to change, to have changed. You would want everything to be, an easy transition. The other part is, what else does she have to do but do this kind of ritual? And like when she's staring at the paper towels, how it's empty and there's that little sliver of it left sitting there, and that look on her face as she's staring at the paper towels. There is so much going on subtext wise in that look. She is acting the fuck out of this scene where she is just looking at a tube of empty paper towels. watch it again and tell me that I'm lying. Which leads us to cut to her looking through the papers for an escort service where she calls a girl named Angel to come over to the house. I love when she has the air mattress blown up. It's, oh, is that for us? No, that's for me. Oh, you want me to watch? No, I want you to shoot me. Like, what? The first time I saw this, I was like, what? Because prostitutes hear weird shit all the time, but I mean, like, I was like, oh God, she's gonna kill him. She wants somebody to kill her. Like, the routine and everything and the pain of it all is too much. But she says, you know, she puts on the Kevlar. She says she wants her to shoot her here. Maybe it's a death fetish. Maybe it's that always that constant pain that she wants to feel. Maybe she wants to get as close to death as possible. Like, get to the edge of the abyss. Maybe somehow feel what it felt like for her family to disappear and, in all intents and purposes, die. But it's all fucked. Not to put a fine point on it, but this is all fucked. She plays the loud heavy metal music, shouts at her enough times, blows her away, and when she wakes up, that's our beginning. That's our beginning. That's our cold open. And when we come back, hard cut back to the episode, it's her in divorce court, divorcing her departed husband for what he did with the preschool teacher. And just the matter-of-factness of it, and I don't want to fuck around, and I want to keep my name. She wants to stay Nora Durst. You know, they ask her if she wants to do it, because you can just tell that those two ladies understand exactly what she's going through. So it's like, but keeping the name, I think, is, I don't know. I don't know why she's keeping the name other than the fact that it means something to her to keep it. Something that ties her still to them, even if they're gone. And that's where she runs into Kevin out in the hallway. And I want to make sure I wrote this stuff down. So, yeah, you know, they go through this, oh, hey, you know, divorce can do that to you. I'm here for a divorce, too. I guess, you know, I should have known that things were in trouble when she joined the Guilty Remnant. And she laughs. And that laughter of someone who, you know, oh, God, she's so good in this. That laugh, and then like, oh, you're not joking. And just, she cares, but she's also just, she's on the verge of losing it. When she just kind of asks him impulsively to like, hey, I had this conference I wanted to go to. Let's go to Miami instead. And his reaction is perfect. This like, boom, kind of like when you receive sort of like surprising news that you don't have enough time to process. And so you go to that like backup answer to something like this. Like, oh, well, I can't because I have a wife, my daughter, like whatever. That kind of like already in the chamber excuse that you fire off in these kind of awkward situations. Even if it's not, you don't really mean it. You know, you're saying no because you're so surprised. Like you're talking that person out of it because you just don't know how to answer yes. Because it's such a like shock to be asked something like this. And so when she goes, oh, fuck your daughter, which is so natural, just so, yeah, like that's exactly how she feels, that's exactly why she said it, but at the same time she immediately regrets it. And at the same time he has that look of, okay, what the fuck? But at the same time, I bet you he's like, yeah, you know what? Fuck my daughter. But it all happens so quickly that she just kind of bolts, and then he goes the other way with this lick on his face, like, what just happened to me? We get the problem with question 121. We don't know what 121 is until the end of the episode. But apparently they think she's doing something when she asks about that question, like that maybe she's influencing the answer to that question because of her being a departure. If she mentions it to them, will that affect how they answer because of how they feel And she takes a little offense to that she would use her family in that way, but she kind of does occasionally, especially when she gets to this conference. Which is, kind of lousy with protesters and, weirdos and creeps. The guilty remnant are there. Some guy puts a fake hand grenade in her hand. And even worse, when she tries to get her badge, somebody's taken it. And you just know, like, it's very much like a Kevin situation, though. Like, is it really gone? Or is it just misplaced? Did somebody really take it? Because I always have to now question, like, some of the reality versus what somebody just wants to see. And so there's a little bit of like unbelievability maybe to it, where you just kind of go, is this person really need to be that upset? And she immediately bumps into what I wrote down as, oh geez, this guy. He was in, this is Billy Magnuson. He plays Marcus in this. I like Billy Magnuson sometimes. He's really great on Maniac. I hated his character in Ingrid Goes West. He's played that character a couple of times. And so it's just, I want Billy Magnuson to try more roles, different roles. And this was a kind of like that same kind of cocky role that I don't like characters, no matter who they are, in this role. But in Maniac, he really shined. But in this, he's like this young, guy at a conference who's trying to hit on her, asking her these questions that are obviously lines, something that's supposed to make him seem funny and interesting, and she's just having none of it, and I fucking love her for that. I love that she doesn't have time for this guy's bullshit. That's one of the reasons why I fell in love with her. Like, for real. Like, I was just like, oh my God, Nora, I love you. Like, I wish more women reacted to the way she does in this. So it's, I even wrote, I love Nora. So it's the hunt for the Nora Durst faker, where she corners a lady in the bathroom. Turns out it's somebody that she made cry at another conference because of what she said about her children's departure. And she's like, you said that my kids disappeared because I gave them fucking, cereal with sugar in it. And, she ripped into her. And you know what? I would too. Fucking really? Like, the data that they're coming up with, I mean, everybody's trying to, like, throw everything against the wall to see what sticks as far as what caused these departures. But some of them, man, you deserve to get yelled at. If you're saying, like, it sounds like one of those creepy news stories where it's like, don't go near the cereal, it'll kill you, It's like, what won't kill me? If I ate, like, 70 boxes of Captain Crunch in a row, I'd probably die of something. I don't know what. But I'd probably die of something. So fuck you, lady. But she does hit her in the gut when she's like, yeah, you're doing real good right now, aren't you? Tom Noonan. The incredible Tom Noonan, if you don't know who I'm talking about. He's the very tall, lanky man in this episode. He's in one of my favorite episodes of the X-Files called Paper Hearts in Season 4. He's been great in everything, though. Whenever I see Tom Noonan in something, I know I'm getting a good performance. And he's got much to do here, but he is just effective as the character that he plays. She gets talked into going to the Billy Magnuson, Marcus's room, where they're all having a big old party, drugs, rock and roll. A lot of drugs, a lot of booze. And everybody's just talking about their jobs and what they do and kind of giving Nora the business about, what she does. And I love seeing this side of her that's all drugged out, but like still like how she's still her whenever certain questions get asked. And it's where we find out what Marcus does for a living, which is he's one of the people that makes those really high quality mannequins that we saw all over the road the other episode. And, he gets into this whole thing that, as he's talking about it, still feels like a pickup line. Just stuff that you say to get into somebody's pants. And then again, she calls him out. You're fucking married. And he's like, yeah, I don't care. I want to kiss you. I think you want to kiss me. And so she straddles the mannequin. And, oh my God, I'm sorry. I was jealous of that mannequin. Billy Magnuson's character was jealous of that mannequin. I was jealous of that mannequin. Damn. Even the whole rest of the rooms go, oh yeah. Well, she wakes up the next morning to loud banging at the door. It's security. They're kicking her out. They say she broke a mirror in the bar. She's trying to explain to them what happened, and they still throw her out. Which leads to another great scene of just how much I love this character. She's like, they tell her to get kicked out. Fuck you. I have a friggin' thing to go to. I have a panel to go to. There's somebody in there that's got my identity. So she goes to like a fucking Kinko's and cleans herself up, gives herself a little bit of a horse bath, I think is what the Austin Powers would say. And cleans herself up. Goes out, gets help from one of the guys to make a fake badge, puts all the stickers on there, goes back in, confident as hell, immediately caught. All the build-up and setup, but just shows how determined she is. So she now has to talk to the head of security and explain to him what's going on and how he tries to give her an out. And I love that. And she either is not getting it or she just don't care, either one, it works here. He's trying to give her an out, and she's just like, no. She's down there right now. Somebody's pretending to be me. This is like where she, she was using her clout a little bit. She was enjoying that. It was kind of important that somebody's taking that identity that she chose to keep when she divorced her husband. It's that she can't lose that. It's part of the pain. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, she can divorce this guy so that maybe morally she feels whatever she does is fine afterwards, but she can't let go of that pain. And so to lose the badge is like losing part of her identity. That's kind of how I see it. So they go down there, and guess what? There's somebody sitting there. And I was actually, the first time I saw this, was wondering if there would just be nobody in that chair. But no, there is somebody there. And immediately, once confronted, I'm not Nora Durst. This is a conspiracy and all this stuff. And they have a point, but I mean, if the government was in on this, if the government somehow knew what happened, or if they caused it, there's no way they would ever admit it. And it's a little bit like, there's no way that human beings would be smart enough to come up with something that would do this on purpose. If anything, this would have been some sort of accident with some sort of a particle accelerator kind of thing, or an atom smasher. I don't know, something that would maybe cause a break in a split of our universes, where people just were shoved to the one side or the other. But I don't see anything like that ever happening on purpose. So to cover it up, I think this is more like a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, and I don't think that any answer to that question is a good one. And so you can just see where the conspiracies would fly out of nowhere from. But they get her out of there, and she gets basically whatever she wants at the hotel. So she's sitting there having drinks when she runs into the guy who wrote this book that's in everybody's little tote bag about how he lost 4 people, and the inspirational story that he wrote. And his and hers conversation is fantastic. And I feel really stupid because I was going to put in a couple of clips, and I just realized it right now that I've just been talking over this whole thing. So I'm going to play only one clip then, because I was going to play the Nora's divorce clip, but I will get to the one clip that I was talking about. But she calls this guy out. He tries to tell this story about things, and she just is like, bullshit. People that are sorry don't write books. And he just runs out of there talking about what's next. Nothing's next. There's nothing next. I just loved it. Well, this is where Tom Noonan shows back up and takes her to no other than Holy Wayne. Tom Noonan's been working the conference, sending people up to Holy Wayne, having their cares taken away, their troubles removed for a price. Still don't know, like, if we ever really get an answer for where all that money was going, especially what Wayne says in this episode. But he's talking about how he took the pain from that guy who wrote the book. And this is the clip that I'm talking about. Holy Wayne breaks down Nora. Like, why is she there? What is she feeling? Like, all these things when he puts together that she lost a few people. And this scene, for me, hits personally how I feel about life many, many times. Like, when I get into my... when I think about some of the things I've done in my life and why, and pain and certain things where I feel like I sabotage myself and stuff like that. This so nails the feeling that I have. And here's that clip.
And you believe that you will always feel that pain. And if it starts to slip away, you seek it out again, don't you? You won't let it kill you. And you won't kill yourself. For whoever is joined with all the living, there is hope. Surely, a live dog is better than a dead lion. Hope. It's your weakness. You want it gone because you don't deserve it. Nora, you do deserve hope.
So that whole moment made every time I see this episode, that part almost makes me cry because it's how I feel. Where I feel like a lot of times in my life, it's almost like being addicted to the pain of, or whatever, whether it be if I was drinking a lot or whatever, or on a kind of just a self-destructive streak. How I would go all the way to the edge, look over, and over the years I kept leaning further over the edge. And then somehow I was always able to pull myself back. But I would do it over and over and over again. And over and over and over. Like, things would be fine for a while and I would careen out of control. Like I was seeking out that feeling of near death or just complete self-destruction or self-annihilation. And and the whole thing with not feeling like you deserve hope or good things. It's all there. It's all in this moment that's between her and Wayne. And when she finally breaks down, after he says that you do deserve hope, it's like sometimes people say that to me all the time. Not really about hope, but like just good things. But it's like, it's very hard to believe that when you're 44 and nothing has changed. I've changed, but the rest of nothing else has. Like, my situations, the reasons I feel this way haven't changed. Nothing ever has gotten really better. And so that's why this episode, this part just really hits me really, really hard and keeps me... It's why, another reason why I'm so drawn to the Nora character is not being able to let go of that pain that you hold on to or the pain that you might have caused or whatever. But he holds her and we flash forward to she's back home. She's got new paper towels. You can tell that things are changing, that she's going to change a little bit here. She's not going to be doing some of the same routines, and that she's not there to stalk the preschool teacher who's looking for her now. And Kevin showing up at the door. She hears the thing from Matt on the answering machine, and then Kevin comes to the door, and says, hey, here's the clip. Here's the clip.
I was having an off day.
Divorces will do that to you.
They will.
Anyway, just wanted you to know that I want to get out of here all the time. Just go. But when you said that about Miami, it sounded pretty good. Maybe we should do dinner, something first, sometime.
I would love that.
Good.
So we get the actual kind of meet cute, if you want to call it that, between Nora and Kevin. That shows, that maybe there's some hope for both of them. Except, he admits to her that he's really fucked up, which he is. And things are going to get more fucked up as they go along. Also, we close the episode with her talking to another applicant for the departure relief. And we find out what question 121 was. And that the question that she answered yes 3 times to when she was asked. And makes you wonder if she even believes that. But the question is, do you believe that the person who departed is in a better place? And the woman answers with a slightly tearful no. And just that look on Nora's face that they hold for a good long while after she crosses, puts the no in there, is again so much going on underneath and behind those eyes as the gears are turning in Nora's head. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful episode. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love this episode so much. And so if you guys love this review, because man, it's kind of this is a heavy episode to talk about. If you like this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe if you're not a subscriber, all that jazz. Otherwise, we'll be back with episode 7 pretty soon of The Leftovers. We won't be waiting as long. I think the editing software situation has gotten fixed for now. It's hopefully going to keep working out as far as I need it. Otherwise, this is Robert Smirking Interview saying we'll be back with, we got Batman the Animated Series starting. We've got Doom Patrol right now. We will be finishing Doctor Who Season 8. We might not be doing Season 9, but we are going to be doing finishing Season 8. And then I will be doing a full series review of the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance because I can't. I have tons of notes on that show, but we're going to talk about episodes 3 through 10 or whatever it is, all as one big group when I'm done with it. And somewhere in there, maybe we'll get to Mindhunter Season 2. So anyway, this is Robert Smirking Interview saying you can find me on Twitter at Yesh8, that is YESSHH8. Otherwise, look up Rob Stone, a.k.a. Smirking Gun Reviews. Have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.